Tessa from MamasGeeky here. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel.
Tessa, your Zoom setup is so much cooler than mine. It is so much cooler.
Thank you.
Is that a Hogwarts game chair?
Yes.
Is that why the colors? Nice.
I know. I'm pretty cool, I gotta say.
Very cool.
So I'm Tessa Smith with MamasGeeky.com. I want to appreciate you or say thank you for you taking the time today, Tony. I super appreciate it.
Love it.
Love your mustache twirling type villain in Clifford, and definitely different from some of your previous roles like Forky and Buster. So I'd love to know how you created him.
Ooh, how I created him. You know, I think anytime you do a character, you have to kind of find something that you connect with a character, or to your point, you're kind of playing this almost cardboard cutout version of a villain or something that's just not really authentic. And so, you know, I look at Tieran or Zach, you know, I was like, this guy's a real just entitled jerk and he wants to like take down Clifford. What am I going to connect with? But like he created this company and he saw it falling apart and he just that anxiety. And then Clifford, you know, he saw him as kind of his like, that's going to save him. But I thought, you know, I can connect with that anxiety. I've struggled with anxiety. And it's like, I can connect with that, like, oh my gosh, I have to do something to make this happen or everything's going to fall apart. And so when you find that connecting point, I think you can maybe bring a little more of a humanity to a character.
I love it. I love it. So from what I've read, other interviews with other people who were on the set, they said there was a lot of improv involved. Did you feel like you had the freedom to go like as big as you wanted with this character?
Yeah, I did. And I had worked with Walt before, and he's always incredibly open to improv. It's so funny though, because we shot this in 2019, the summer of 2019, and it was pre-COVID. And it's like most of my memories are just like, oh my gosh, I took that for granted. I took that for granted that I could like see people and nobody was wearing masks and, you know, we were hanging out. And I don't know, that's what I now like focusing on, like, wow, man, hopefully that day will come again, you know?
Fingers crossed. I feel like we're getting there.
I know we are. We are.
But yeah, it must have been nice to just be able to chit chat with people
yes.
while you're in between.
And go to craft service and like get a snack and just not think about it, you know, all the time.
It's so crazy to think that was only a couple of years ago because it feels like we've been living in this forever.
Yeah.
Forever. Too long. But so obviously there was not a big red dog on set, or I imagine there wasn't. So can you talk about working opposite?
What if today I was like, there wasn't? What if I was so checked out? I was like, really? Are you serious? You're like, okay, we're gonna call the facility, the doctors. Tony needs to get checked out. Sorry, what was your question?
No, yeah. Can you just talk about acting alongside things that aren't there?
Yeah. Do you know the big gift that they gave to us, which I'm incredibly grateful for? Because sometimes, and I've done films before where you have to see things that aren't there, and they give you like a tennis ball or like something to kind of guide your eye. But they made these massive puppets that were the size of what Clifford was going to be. And that's what we were reacting to. And there was these guys in like these red outfits that were underneath the puppets, and they were running around the streets of New York, and they were carrying his head or the puppet head around. And it was such a gift because we were able to see the magnitude of Clifford, you know, because if it was just like a little dot, you just wouldn't know where to go with the eye, but it was this, we saw the scope. And I think that was a real gift to all the actors, big time.
That's so great. That's smart way to do it, I guess.
Really smart.
You're part of a ton of iconic franchises, but I'd love to know what it was like to join yet another one with Clifford.
It was so cool. I mean, I grew up on Clifford, and my daughter grew up on Clifford. And in this movie, I really, not to get too like mature themed, but it's like I appreciated how the message of this, it's the character who Darby Kemp played, the lead girl, it's her love that made Clifford grow, right? And I think just these past few years, especially with social media, just everybody's breaking each other down. We're all criticizing each other. There's so much noise. And we're thinking like, oh, that's going to bring change if we tell them what they need. And it's like, no, like love and understanding and listening and giving people space, like that's going to bring growth, guys. That's going to bring change. And I know that's kind of a hidden message, but it's a really beautiful, powerful message, and hope people get that.
Yeah, it is. And it's very important, especially like you said, now these last couple of years
Yeah.
have been intense. So, well, again, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today, Tony. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I'm very jealous of your room. That's a very cool room you have. That is awesome.
I will say the pinball machine gets extremely distracting. I can spend hours just messing around with it. It's
really awesome. Well, it was nice meeting you.
It was nice to meet you too, Tony. Thank you.
See ya.
Thank you so much to all of my monetary supporters, my members here on YouTube, as well as my patrons. If you haven't joined yet, please consider doing so. We have some really awesome perks, including a monthly Zoom meeting where we get to talk face to face. Thank you again to everyone who supports me.